I was going to let you dance. I was going to let it go.
Dude, I like that, man. That was a good groove.
I messed that up, right?
Yeah, you did. You did.
Yeah,
You said, I'm counting. I'm counting 51 seconds.
Well, no, not even that. I messed up way before that. I mean, but it's been a month. So, it's been a month since we've been on. So, welcome to the Check Swing Podcast, y'all, with myself and the brains and the brawn behind the show. Mr. Coach Santa is in the building. But there is something new to talk about. There is a new piece to the Check Swing, to the Check Swing Podcast. He's been on the show before, but now he's joining us for the duration. Miguel, who is that?
Ladies and gentlemen, starting power forward, center, international basketball superstar who played for Argentina and España. And as of 2023, can add Hall of Famer to his credentials as he was inducted into the Drexel University Hall of Fame. Fellow Drexel alum, along with myself, fellow Northeast High School alum, such as myself, although my class was better. Brother Rob Battle.
Welcome to the show, Rob Battle, Drexel Hall of Famer. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah.
Welcome to now being a panelist on the show. And I like to start off every show on here on New Tools Radio by asking my people how they've been. So, Rob, since you're the new kid on the block, I'm going to ask you first, and I'm going to let Miguel take it from there. Rob, it's been a while since you've been on. How you been, man?
Oh, listen, man, I've been great. Fantastic. Fresh off Father's Day, had a great Father's Day with my two beautiful girls, and my wife. Had a great bike ride. I'm big into cycling now. Youngest celebrated her third birthday on June 8th, so we've been rolling. We've been having a good time. I'm fresh from the PPA impound lot today. They got my car, but I like to say like my man Kurt Franklin said, you can't take my joy, devil, right? Never bad. Deion Sanders say never bad days, just bad moments. So I'm feeling good either way.
There you go. Well, welcome to the show, Mr. Rob Battle, Drexel Hall of Famer, recent survivor of the PPA. Miguel, how you been, man?
I've been well as well. Although the Phillies lost this weekend, I did spend Saturday with my niece at the Phillies Orioles game. Saw a great game for the first 4 innings until we decided to blow it. But it was a great atmosphere, and you could cut the energy with a knife. We did get an impromptu air show because for whatever reason they decided to schedule the game at the exact same week as Fleet Week in Baltimore. So the stadium is like 2 blocks from Inner Harbor. So when we were sitting down, just kind of chilling, we saw like Planes information, and I was like, I think we're at war. And but there were like these purple planes and the yellow planes and blue planes. I'm like, are these toys? And then this bomber came in and flew in over the stadium. So I was like, okay, yeah, we're definitely at war. But they were just doing doing like stuff for the crowd and stuff like that. So but it was very loud, and it ended literally 5 minutes before first pitch. And I can't remember. I know it's been a month, but I can't remember if I had the opportunity to introduce my first grandbaby.
Congratulations. I don't know if we did before, but we're doing it now.
Talk about something else real quick. I gotta find a picture.
Papa Santa. I like it.
Okay.
Oh,
So it's kind of funny that you're talking about the fleet week and the planes. You thought you were at war. I'll tell you a real quick story while you're trying to find the picture. I played baseball at University of Maryland Eastern Shore, and that area is very farmlandish. I don't know what that would be.
Mhm.
Rural, maybe. I don't know what that would be called. Um, but we, I had been playing. This was not my first year playing. Okay, this might have been my second or third year, and they would. I saw a plane. You could see like in the background of our field. There were some trees leading off the campus, and I saw this plane flying. Right, it's flying back and forth, and then all of a sudden I just see the plane nosedive. Hold on, where's my camera? Nosedive down. Nothing stopped. I'm waiting to hear the explosion, see the smoke, something. All of a sudden, the plane comes back up and then dive straight back down. I'm like, what is going on? Come to find out, and in this game at this particular time, I was not playing. They were like crop dusting or something, whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad I wasn't playing because at that time I played catcher, and actually the next game I played, and that same thing happened. Had that happened while I had been playing catcher, I'm telling you, I would have gotten hurt because there's no way I would not have got scared seeing that with a baseball, flying towards me at 80, 90 miles. We didn't have anybody throw 90 at like 80 miles an hour. So just a quick story about that, and there we go, right there.
There
oh,
she is.
look at that. Look at
Her
that.
name. Her name is Alora. She came in at about just a touch under 6 pounds. So she's sleeping and um taking really really stressful dumps because she does this thing like she she does this thing when you know it's about to happen. She's like what's that character like?
Was that,
Oh,
that Dragon Ball Z or something?
Yeah, like she's getting ready, or like Street Fighter where she's getting ready to really lay a really big Hadouken.
oh,
So
That was a good one. That was a good one. Yo, I've
yeah,
never seen an episode of Dragon Ball Z.
yeah, it's overrated.
I've never seen it, so
okay.
shout out to everybody that's into it. I think that was like that began the anime revolution in the United States.
My son loved that one, Naruto. He used to get mad at me because I used to call it Nargato because there was a character.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, there was a character that I just thought was a little wishy washy, but yeah,
I want to start off the show because we were talking earlier, and I thought it would be fun for us to start off the show with a discussion that I already know you guys do not agree with me, and I already know that I don't agree with you.
Trade Embiid.
And it's the discussion about Joel Embiid and should he be traded. And we have Mr. Rob Battle on the show, played professional basketball, knows how professional organizations work, gives us the ins and outs. He will be the only person in my career that could make me look like I don't know what I'm talking about with basketball, but I won't let him do it. I won't let him do it. My points will always make perfect sense. But I want to talk about this Joel Embiid get rid of him conversation. As we all know, the Celtics, Boston Celtics, spoiler alert, they won the NBA Finals 4-1. I turned the game off halfway through the third quarter. I just didn't want to see the Celtics win. I just couldn't. I couldn't bear to watch it. You guys, I'm gonna let Rob go first. Why should the Sixers get rid of Joel Embiid?
Very short. The process has failed. It's over. It's been what? I don't even know exactly how many years, 7 to 10 years. We're talking about trust the process. Yeah, no, not trusting that anymore. Uh, you can't trust him to be healthy, and we haven't gotten it done. So what are we holding on to? His stock is high as it's going to be right now. So it's best to trade him now, get as many pieces as you can with him. And right now, Tyrese Maxey is the franchise player moving forward. He's available. He plays hard. People like him. He's marketable. He's personable. You know, it's it's just always something, man. Some
You make
people some people are prone to injury, man. Maybe that's just him. But if it's not one thing, it's another. It was the elbow to the eye. It was a tummy ache. Then it was a knee. Now you got what is it? Now you got Bell's palsy. Like it's just always something. Like always something happened. Like
and it is crazy because I'm gonna let Miguel go and all that, but I should have took notes so I can remember to come back to that. But Miguel, I mean you're kind of on the same wavelength. You guys are kind of must be a Northeast thing. That must be what it is. It must be a
Really?
Northeast.
Really?
Go ahead, Miguel. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Really? Um, I mean, I can't refute anything that Rob has brought to the table with that. Um, I still think that the biggest miss for this franchise was choosing Ben Simmons over Jimmy Butler. That was, I think, the big miss for me because he showed what he could do, not just from a basketball standpoint, but briefly from a leadership standpoint. He was more the leader than Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid together could ever be. Um, and that year that we lost to Kawhi Leonard, in disappointing fashion. I mean, I've never heard of an athlete have more than 5 stomach viruses in the same season, and this man happened to have that. And it just so happened to be after a Chick-fil-A run or a milkshake run. So like I don't know. If you're making all that money playing in a big city, you do what you need to do to win. Injuries aside, okay? And I think he's starting to get it now, but I think it's kind of like at that point, it might just be too late. And I think like what Rob said, his stock is high. Get as much as you can for him. Focus on Maxi. And I heard a little birdie say that Butler might be available. So what the hell? Why not?
Okay.
and
Now that you all have
one
said
more
those,
thing, and just I'll add one more thing in. Let's not forget. Well, I'll say he showed up for the most part this playoffs. But let's not forget in every playoff his numbers dipping and in crucial games 6 or 7 doesn't show up. So I until that happened, I can't give the respect. I'm a big Joker fan. Joker does what he does every night, night in and night out. You can count on what he's going to bring to the table. And then when you push all the chips in, and B give you like last year that meltdown, him and Harden, your MVP. What do you have? 15 points and 5 rebounds or something like that. Something. Come on, baby. I need more. You average 30 through the year. I need 30. I need 30 or more. Can't be less.
And he needs to be in the paint. He needs to stop shooting threes.
well,
And he needs. Sorry, I'm sorry. I just wanted to go.
let me go ahead and I'm gonna try to get back to all the points, right? Um, I halfway agree with you, Miguel, with the 3 point thing. Like I'm one of the people that says that he needs to be, in the paint a little more, right? But we all know the game is different now. There's not a lot of back to the basket game anymore, right? There's a lot of shooting threes. There's a lot of stretch fives, stretch fours now. But I think he shoots too many threes. Personally, I think he shoots too many, and I think he tends to shoot you out of situations sometimes. I want to start by asking you guys a question because I know my answer, and I'm going to assume I know your answer is going to be opposite from mine. Are you guys ready to start from scratch?
Well, what's from scratch? You're
Well,
already not winning.
we all know if you trade, when you make a trade, you're not going to get equal value. We all know that, right? It's just throughout history of all sports, you rarely get equal value. So I always think back to trading Charles Barkley for Tim Perry, Jeff Hornacek, and
Do you know how bad that management was, though?
well, hey, we're still not talking about great management now.
He also didn't want to be here either.
Yeah, that's
He
true.
didn't want to be here. That's true. But Jeff Hornacek, Tim Perry, and Andrew Lang, was it Andrew Lang? Or was it Charles Shaq? I don't remember.
Probably.
Either way, what happens? Phoenix goes to the finals, right? What happened with us? We didn't get to the finals till we got Allen Iverson, and none of those guys were on the team anymore, right? So, and we haven't got to the finals now, right?
Not even the Eastern Conference Finals.
Not even the Eastern Conference Finals. You're right. We ain't been there in 24 years or whatever it was. Let me ask you guys this question. It's a hypothetical, but I want you to give an honest answer. I don't want you to give the answer because I'm saying this for Miguel. I don't want you to give the answer that's just going to help your point. I want you to give an honest answer. Let's take the team. Let's just take last year's team. Let's take last year's roster, okay? You have, and I love Tyrese Maxey. I love Tyrese. I hope he stays the Sixer his whole career, okay? You take this Sixers team and you take an injured Tyrese Maxey. He's not on the he can't play. He's not going to play. Okay? Now you have Embiid and everybody else. Or you take an injured Embiid, which we've had many times. Tyrese Maxey is good, everybody else is good. Which team has a better chance of getting to the final?
Injured Maxey and everybody.
The team with the injured Maxey and no Maxey playing, or the team with the injured Embiid, no Embiid playing? Which team has a better chance of getting to the NBA Finals?
Well,
Neither.
But somebody has to have a better chance. Like we'll have to call Vegas, but somebody has to have a better chance. I mean, you got Embiid, who was averaging before he got hurt 35 points a game, something crazy like that. Like, do you really want to get rid of somebody that's averaging 35 points a game?
But the issue is not what he does per game. The issue is that he doesn't have the ability to play every game. You know what I mean? Like, again, going back to the injury thing, like even, he was injured this year again, and he couldn't play to his full capacity again. So it's like, you keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting the same result. You know what I mean? It goes back to that thing. And to kind of answer your initial question, are you willing to, start from scratch? If scratch is losing the playoffs, we've already been doing that. Let's just win with the players that actually are healthy enough to play, because you have a better chance with playing.
Like your argument, like not your argument, but your statement right now, just it bothers me because you're supposed to want to win now.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't done that, admittedly. Right. There's no secret. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to want to win now, right? But you're talking about I'd rather lose with the guys that want to be there.
Not want to be there, that actually can't be there, that actually show up.
As opposed to losing with a guy that you can watch every night that's averaging 35 points a game.
Yes, because at the end of the day, I know he may be a game time decision, game 6 or 7, when I absolutely need him.
But you want to watch the game with a whole bunch of guys that's down at the local spot.
I have a better chance
Of what?
of winning
How?
because they won't get hurt.
I mean, is it? But check this. Just isn't that who they just lost to?
What, you talking about the Knicks? You the local guy?
Yeah,
Hey, look.
isn't that who they just lost to? They just
Hey.
lost to. I mean, Jalen Brunson is tough.
Let me answer your question by rephrasing. Yes. Okay.
Wait. We can't do anything to defend our argument. How are you going to rephrase your question?
I'm not rephrasing the question. I'm rephrasing my answer. Because the answer is yes. But let me rephrase it this way: they lost to the number 3 seed in the East.
Bro,
As
I was the number 3 seed constructed. You got Jalen Brunson and you got a bunch of guys.
Well, how did they become the 3 seed?
Because they played hard and they played together as a team. And Jalen Brunson played like a superstar is supposed to play, and he played every game and showed up for his team.
Okay.
As opposed to another team that doesn't play as hard and has their superstar that doesn't show up for every game.
So the result for both teams. So okay, the Knicks lost in the second round. Sixers lost in the second round 3 years in a row, or 4, whatever it was. Why not watch a guy score 35 points a night if you know you're going to lose at the end of the day? But can you at least enjoy the game? Can you enjoy greatness? That's one thing that we do, at least me. We don't enjoy and respect greatness when it's in front of us. I missed the game so much when Mike retired because I was like, there's no real, he was so good that he just made everybody else seem average, even the great players. He made them. And it came along when I was able to really respect greatness and watch the greatness and LeBron. I'm respecting that greatness. But see, here in Philly, we tend to want to kick guys out when they're not giving us the results that we want. I tell you, think about somebody like Paul Pierce, who should have been a Sixer, right? But he was a Celtic, so I'll try not to throw up. Paul Pierce took forever to win a title. He took a long time. And it took him to have 2 Hall of Famers around him to win a title. But you know what they didn't do? They didn't run him out of Boston because he wasn't winning.
He also
ended up winning.
He also showed up every game. He didn't miss half the season either. And he played his heart out.
And he didn't have an addiction to Chick-fil-A milkshakes.
Hard most of the time.
He didn't make excuses either.
What are the excuses?
Embiid, stay make excuses. I need to get the ball. We need better players. The coach, and he always making some type of excuse every game.
But he still give you 35 a night.
And this is what I'll never respect. The one I'm going to stand on this, and I'm going to stand on this forever. Doesn't matter what you come to me about. I don't respect players who do not take responsibility for their performances and their actions. You can't go out there and have a crappy performance and then you want to skirt the media after the game. But then you drop 56, you tweeting it yourself. And then you're sitting there in the post game, you all giggles now, huh?
I would agree with you, Rob.
And that's why I respect. I'll tell you one person I respect. And in this manner, he's just like Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali did all his talking. Joe Frazier beat him up. He had a swollen jaw. He sat there. He talked to the media like a man. He did all the talking. You know, he was an expert talker. But when he lost, he sat there like a man, and he took his loss. He was the better man tonight, but I'm coming back. Who else does that? You may not like him, but in this aspect, I have much respect for him, Conor McGregor. He do all the talking. He's an a-hole, but after the match, he lose. He was the better man, and I got to go work harder. I don't respect somebody skirting the media like Joel Embiid when you don't have a good game. You don't want to talk, and then you have a good game. You all talk. You got cats like Adrian Broner, so would talk, and then Maidana knocked his behind out. He's nowhere to be found. You're not talking. You had Ronda Rousey doing all that talking. She loses one fight, she disappears, never faces the media, and the next thing you hear out of her, well, I was suicidal, and nobody cares. Nobody has sympathy for you. You lost one fight, ma'am. You lost one fight. It happened.
I definitely agree with what you got, what you're saying right there. I agree with that. We are coaches, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. Like, you got to take responsibility for what you've done, what you didn't do, and you got to own things, and you gotta live up to it. If you're going to be big enough to dish it, you got to be big enough to take it. And B doesn't seem like he's one of those guys that he hasn't. I won't say he's not big enough to. It's weird. I'm trying to say it, and I'm not trying to say it in a way to save him. I'm trying to say it in a way that's.
He's not mentally tough.
No, he doesn't have that Philly mental toughness.
There was
in another city. It would definitely pass. You know what I mean? If he played in, I don't know, Portland, and I don't know, Milwaukee. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But a place like Philly, no, we ain't going for that.
There was a coach that my son used to have for his track when he was running track and field in Delco, and he would always talk about mental toughness, especially track and field is like the ultimate individual sport, and he would always talk about mental toughness, but he's like, you don't want to be a mental midget. You don't want to show up small in those really big situations. Having that winner mindset, and you brought up Mike, right? What did Mike do that Embiid never did? I think people were more.
You answer that.
You can't answer that. How can you answer that?
You said, what did Mike do that Embiid never did?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
You mean besides winning championships and all that?
That was the whole point, winning championships.
I mean, there's a lot of people that did win championships.
Because, but you're like kind of like that's a think about it like this. Mike got his butt whooped by Detroit, by the bad boys for what, the first 3 or 4 years. Once he figured out how to get over his Achilles heel, busting through Isaiah Thomas and Lambeer, who was my favorite player for obvious reasons.
Bill Lambeer was your favorite?
What?
He was my favorite player.
What in the world?
Because he was the first one to punch Larry Bird dead in his face. I've been a fan ever since.
Why you want Larry Bird to be punched in the face, man?
Listen,
why did you want Larry Bird punched in the face?
Because the one game I saw against the Sixers, he killed Dr. J, so I didn't appreciate that. So I wanted him dead ever since. Anyway, but he was able to grow every year. He made himself get better to the point where couldn't nobody beat him in a championship game or when the game was on the line. There's always this argument, is LeBron the greatest? I'm sorry, but until you've never lost a championship game, you can't really say you're a great player and you're part of greatness, but the greatest. But to make, I know you weren't trying to make the comparison, but all you've gotten from the tank or whatever the hell you want to call it was purposeful losing to try to get the best picks possible, and you got probably the two of the softest, gutless. I don't like to associate value to a human, but when it comes to contracts, worthless players that, and one of them was an MVP. So, how can you be an MVP and play gutless. But how can you do it? Look at Embiid.
But I'll tell you what, how can you be gutless and win an MVP?
You could.
But
That's
the
that's just scoring points.
It means that you went out on the court and you took care of business for a season and people saw it.
No. Yes, you proved yourself in the regular season.
That's when
You
you
are
win it.
okay, but what is it like? Can you remember? Can you think of all the MVPs outside during the Jordan era?
Say the question again. I'm sorry.
Do you know of any of the MVPs in the Jordan era
Outside of Jordan,
outside of Jordan?
Mike,
Karl Malone,
Malone, and Barkley. Those are three.
Barkley. Did Akeem win one?
I think he might have won it when with the 2 years that he was out of that Jordan was out of the league.
No, one of those was David Robinson. That's when he torched.
That's
David
right. That's right.
And they were like 50 the last night of the season or something crazy, right? Is that what you just said, Rob?
No, that was when he was upset when they gave, because when they were in the playoffs, they presented him with the trophy when they were playing Houston.
Right.
Robert Horry told that story. He was looking and they were presenting the trophy. Robert Horry said, Akeem said, "That's my trophy." And Robert Horry was like, "Ooh." I think that was the night he hit him with the 4 up kicks, and Dave Robinson jumped like 4 times.
I was a Spurs fan back then too. So
he put Dave Robinson in the mixer. Oh God, he abused that man.
See,
but I appreciate that. I'm on my Ocho Cinco over here. Santa, that's a good one. I just wrote that down. Don't be a mental midget. I like that one. I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that one.
So,
mental midget.
If you've been watching since we started 32 minutes ago, we actually started off the conversation. This is Rob Battle. He's new to our show. Welcome, Rob Battle. We were talking about these two guys. Believe the Sixers need to get rid of Embiid. And if you have any comments or anything like that, you put them in the chat, or of course you can hit us. I don't have the phone number up right now, but because the back, I gotta make a new background because we got 3 people now, so I gotta make a new background.
Justin, real quick. I don't know if you had done this on purpose or it may have been completely by accident. Today's actually the 31st anniversary of the Barkley trade. And he was traded officially to the Suns for Jeff Hornacek, Tim Perry, and Andrew Lang.
Oh, I got it right.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Right. Ooh, man. But ask me if I can remember somebody's phone number. Can't do it. Today, wow.
That's interesting.
Right before the Olympics.
31 years.
That's right. I forgot about the Olympics.
Olympics. We've been talking. These guys think the Sixers need to get rid of Embiid, but here's what I want to say, and then we can move forward. Miguel, with your last soliloquy that you gave us, you are kind of talking as if Embiid can't play anymore. You know what I mean? With the examples you were given, as Michael Jordan had to get past Detroit, all like that. Embiid's like in his prime, and I understand that's why you guys think you should get rid of him, because you think you can get something back from him, but you're not because of all the reasons you just said. But he's in the prime. Like there comes a time where, and hopefully he's a great. There comes a time where it clicks for the greats. There came a time where it clicked for Mike. I want to say there came a time where it clicked for Kobe. I would love to say there was a time where it clicked for LeBron, but that might have been when he said, "I'm going to Miami." I think that's when it clicked for LeBron, right? Like everybody had their battles. I believe that Detroit had their battles with Boston before they got to winning championships. So, I can't go with getting rid of Embiid right now. 35-point a game score. That combination with Maxey, I think, can be great. I think if you get rid of Embiid right now, I don't know what comes of Maxey. You know, I'm not saying that he can't develop because he's going to develop. I hope he develops further. But what are you going to put around Maxi at this point if he is the franchise? What are you putting around Maxi? Because you can't put ball dominant people around him. What do you put around him? That's the thing I have to figure out.
You build around him. You put shooters around him. You get you a athletic big that's gonna set good screens and roll.
But like who? Like, do you have anybody in mind? Outside of Rob Battle?
I don't. That ship sailed long time ago. I mean, somebody like the kid from Dallas. I mean, obviously he can't be picked up now, but
the talking big. I like
yeah,
him.
somebody like him or like a not Clint Capella, but a Clint Capella type that can run and set screens.
Mhm.
Finish around the basket, and that's it. That's gonna open the floor. You got three other shooters spreading the floor, and
And you believe Maxi can be the leader of that and take them to the promised land?
I can't answer that right now. I can't. I won't say yes for sure, but he does
It's okay
have
to be wrong. It's okay.
he does have the qualities. He has a good head on his shoulders. He takes responsibility. It seems like everybody likes him. So I think he would be a good leader. Now he has to mature. He's still young. He's still very young.
Mhm.
Um, and he's not like Anthony Edwards. Very charismatic. He's out. He's talking, and he's not like that. But he's outgoing enough, and I think that he can develop. I think
He's
so.
a guy that enjoys playing basketball, and you really get that feeling from him.
He does it, and he plays all out. I remember that game, the game where he dropped the 50 against the Knicks,
Hmm.
and I was wondering, and I was sad that it didn't go the way it should be the next game. Next game, Embiid played really well. Maxi didn't, and I always look at that. Like when somebody comes out there and they have like 50, okay, what are you going to do the next game? Are you going to go from 50
Right.
to 10?
Right.
And
That's a problem.
it wasn't even so much of like the ability to go get it. I just saw the way he was moving at the velocity he was playing when that game he scored 50. So I'm like, yo, this dude looks like he's moving at the speed of light. I'm curious to know how he's going to feel his recovery the next game. I know he's young, but this dude he's exerting a ton of energy. Like he looked like he's 100% every time he's running up and down. He just just all over the place. And I'm like, he's not
He was
going
kind
to
of trained in that 10-point performance.
that next game for sure. He was feeling it. For sure, he was feeling it. There's no way you can give that type of effort and you're not feeling it the next game. Like I hate to use the phrase that he went too hard, but I mean, like, I don't even know if that's such a thing in the playoffs. But
Went too hard for himself, I guess. I guess I'm hoping. Let me ask you this from a professional basketball standpoint. Now, I don't know how the playoff structure is in the leagues where you were playing when you won your championship. But would guys, anybody else, what was the recovery process like for the playoffs? Like, was there a point in the game where you would say, all right, I might be going a little bit too hard. Like I can't imagine somebody saying that they got to tone it back because there's more games. Like
Ben Simmons. Sorry.
What's that mental game like for the professional athlete?
So I'll say this: if you have a good coach, I had a really good coach. The last year we won. I won the championship was 14 the season 14-15. That coach, we had a very good team. We gelled very early on. It was just one of those, you guys who played, Santa's been on a championship team. I don't know if you have or not, Justin, but
in the fourth grade.
But you just know when it's special. Like we clicked in preseason. We would move the ball so well to the fact that we would get 24-second violations like in the preseason. We were so selfless as a team. We were running, we were doing the 8-second clock. If we got a good shot in the first 8 seconds, it's going up. We're going to play defense, and then we're on the prison break. And so what he did well as a coach over there, it can be a lot because think about it, we're just practicing. We're only playing 2, sometimes 3 games a week. In Argentina, it started being at times we would play 3 games, and there's been spans where we'll play 3 games in 5 days or 6. But you're doing a lot of practicing, sometimes 2 a days during the season. So what he did well was we always had 15 players practice. Those young guys, those 6 years we always had like a young team that we integrated into the practice. So there were certain drills where we would only play offense against their defense, or we would only play defense against their offense. So we're not exerting too much energy in practice. And then during the season, I only averaged that year about 25 minutes a game. Those who don't know, overseas, we don't play 48, we play 40 minutes. It's like college. So I'm only playing 22 to 25 minutes a game. And sometimes I play less because we're beating the team so bad. Third quarter, I don't even play the fourth quarter. But when we got to the playoffs, my minutes went up to 30. So now we're in the playoffs. I have enough in the tank. Now I'm playing 30 minutes a game. I'm being used more often as I was able to win finals MVP. But during the season, I was only getting about 6 shots a game. But come playoffs, 30 minutes a game, feed the horse.
So you had enough reserved from the season that you could go hard for 30 minutes.
Yeah, and at that time I'm 34. But when I won my first championship there, I was what was it, 2008? What did that make me? 27, something like that. Mm-hmm. Now that coach was just like, I was like, yo, man, I've been logging a lot. I'm playing. We only had 3 bigs to rotate. I'm playing like 35 minutes a game. But I'm 27, and we had a really good team. So I mean, we ran the table. But I don't think I would have been able to do that for a whole season and the playoffs at 34. So I just think that you have to construct a team. You got to get some young players you're going to rotate, you're going to play during the season so they're ready. Once you get to the playoffs. I don't know, but it seems like no matter what you do, man, I think that I don't know who's in their corner, man. I look at somebody like Embiid, and I look at Anthony Davis from the Lakers. Like, who's your trainer? Like, you have to do something different. You can't play the whole season. At some point, you have to say, okay, I need to get a new nutritionist. I need to get a new trainer, work on these little muscles, whatever it is. I don't know what it is, but whatever you're doing now doesn't work. You get hurt every year. So what is it? And then some people, I said, why is this dude always on the ground? They said that they told Embiid to fall on purpose.
So that's true. He was told to fall on purpose.
That's what we heard. I don't know how. That's what the narrative has been. But my question is, I'm sorry, you're not the first 7'2", 280, 300-pound player that played in the NBA. You didn't see him. You didn't see Shaq rolling on the ground on purpose. I'm sorry, he was a lot bigger than you and more dominant. I didn't see him having to fall on purpose. What are we talking about here?
Shaq also barely jumped.
That's a lot.
Embiid does Embiid moves a lot more than Shaq did, in my opinion. Because he tries to blow past people off the dribble and all that crazy.
I think you're having amnesia.
I think what we're witnessing live and in real time is Coach Justin being an apologist for Embiid.
Shaq was one of the most nimble athletic big guys coming in the
Now,
league.
I'm talking about later. I'm talking about Lakers and on. I'm not talking about Orlando. Orlando, he was what Embiid kind of is now, right? Outside of the 3 pointers and all.
Embiid's not even that now.
Hey.
Embiid was never what Shaq was.
Embiid,
Never.
Embiid is what Embiid is. But Shaq's early game is what bigs are doing now. And then he became back to the basket, pound, back you down, beat you up,
No,
dunk on you.
Embiid doesn't do.
he was always doing that, but he was always back to the. I mean, he didn't have any outside game Shaq when he came in.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That wasn't what I'm saying. But early, he would try to blow past you off the dribble, maybe not from like the corner, but he would put the ball on the ground early in his career.
Yeah, he had the
Right.
little
Later in his career, it was not so much.
but he moved very well for his size. My thing is, here's the thing. I don't mind you shooting. The problem is, this is my problem with bigs shooting the three. They fall in love with it so much that they start searching for it. I didn't want myself to do that. Like, listen, I know where my bread is buttered. So when we played two bigs, I had the other guy. They put the 4 on the other guy. I would stretch the floor. That's when I would get my opportunity to shoot threes. Or perhaps I'm spacing the floor. They leave me alone. I shoot a 3. But I'm not fishing. I don't set a screen and I'm popping all the time. I don't do that. I'm screening and I'm rolling hard. Because that's where my bread is buttered. If I need to face up a little bit, because I need to mix it up so they don't know exactly where I am all the time. Yeah, but am I out here fishing for threes? I'm playing like I'm an actual guard. No, man.
How much is that Brett Brown's fault for not?
Oh, Brett Brown said he wanted them to shoot more threes.
Yeah, he let them dudes do whatever.
He didn't have any control over it.
Nah, he did.
I don't understand how you're allowing how. I just don't get, even with Ben Simmons, how y'all don't handle that. Did you not have him see a sports psychologist when he get in? Have him working on his game. Tell him, hey, listen, you have to shoot this shot. Every other player did it. They're saying, well, he was an all-star without doing it, but every other player improved in transition. Rajon Rondo, Jason Kidd, Vince Carter, all these guys actually became shooters except for Rondo. Rondo just became, he was able to hit the mid-range shots. Mm-hmm. But all of these guys start getting better shots. John Wall, except you. What? And we're not even saying you got to be shooting threes. At least hit a 15 to 18 footer.
Hit that Chris Webber elbow corner shot.
Come on, man. The way they were guarded was just embarrassing. They guarded you with Al Horford.
All right, y'all starting to make me mad about this Joel Embiid thing, but I'm still saying we got to keep him. He's the only chance we have of winning right now.
One more thing, Embiid lover. How many seasons has Embiid played an entire season?
What kind of question is that? None? You mean like played all 82 games? Like no, never.
Because if you compare, I mean, it's not really a comparison, but you brought up Kobe and Jordan, and even in their MVP seasons, they played it.
Let me stop you right there, just because I want to say to me that's a bit of an unfair comparison.
But you made the comparison.
But as far as playing every game, I think that's an unfair comparison. You tell me which bigs, what bigs have played every game. Like that's you, and you could go to the Greeks. You tell me which big, because the bigs tend to have those injuries and they'll take the knees, the ankles, and all like that. And B just has them at a higher clip and has them at the worst times. All right. But we're gonna move on because I gotta get Miguel in here to talk about the Phillies a little bit. Of course, since he just saw the Phillies this weekend in Camden Yards, and there's a lot of talk, Miguel. And I don't know how much Philly sport you're able to consume when you're
every day.
There's a lot of talk about the Phillies making moves. So just recently with Trey Turner coming back off the injured list, they had to make a move. They had to move somebody to the minors. They had to make a roster spot.
Mhm.
They moved Johan Rojas, who had been with the major league club all season. They moved him to the minor leagues. They optioned him to the minors. But now there's talk about they need another outfielder. There's talk about with JT Realmuto hurt. They need, what are they going to do? Should they get rid of, with the whole catcher series is Stubbs? Should Stubbs go? Should they keep Marshawn up and send Stubbs down? Miguel,
Sir.
I always say when it comes to this baseball stuff, you're one of the brightest minds I've ever met. What should the Phillies do? What do they need to do at this time? And you can even say nothing. Because this is why when we had the question earlier a few months back when the Phillies were doing well, I said, talk to me after the All-Star break. Because if we would have had this conversation a month ago, you'd have called me crazy. But now the conversation is here. Miguel, what they need to do?
So this question actually came up Friday into Saturday because this was before Johan's last series. In center field, great up and coming star. Not quite Embiid-esque, but I think that he should.
Did you just take a shot, man?
Excuse me?
Did you just take a shot?
Excuse me. This is the Philly segment. Let me finish. And then,
you almost got past me with that one. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you
continue. But I think he was rushed up. I think defensively he's taking a little bit of a fall because I think all the issues he's having at the plate is affecting his defense. Because last year they pretty much said we just need you to play defense. We don't even care about you hitting, and he pretty much bunted every time that he was up. But now he can't even freaking bunt. So him going down to the minors, it makes sense. The issue is that I have, and this was actually brought up by a sports writer, is that Edmundo Sosa played short in Trey's absence. He's actually a better defensive shortstop than Turner is. Turner's not a great defensive shortstop. I'm just gonna make there's something fundamentally about the way he attacks the ball, and he makes more errors than I think he should, you know what I mean, because of his speed. I don't think he has. You remember we had a player, John Sharp. Remember him, right? Mm-hmm. And I used to always tell him he used to actually outrun the ball. That's how fast he was. So I had to tell him, like, you have to learn how to control your speed because you're going full out for everything, but you need to track and then kind of work your way to the ball and kind of float to it versus like running like a track star for everything. He has experience in the outfield. When he played with the Nationals, he played center field, actually, I think the first 2 or 3 years of his career.
Yeah, he plays just about every position.
Just about every position. So I would actually, and I don't know what, some things are so obvious, and I know I'm not part of the analytics staff. They should be fired. I'm not part of, the coaching staff there. But common sense to me is that you're taking an infielder in Sosa, and you're training him on fly balls. You've done that 3 years in a row, and you've never played him in the outfield. Usually that's a sign that he can't play the outfield. Just common sense. He can play shortstop, right? Trey Turner cannot play shortstop. Trey Turner can play outfield. Some things in sports it's like watching football last year. You're on the 1 yard line. Why do you have 5 wide spread out? You think what I'm saying? When the obvious play is sitting there. Mm-hmm. So I think the Phillies should move Trey to the outfield. Maybe not center field, because center field you do have to cover more ground, even though he can speed-wise, but I think because he hasn't played that position in a while, I'd stick him in left field. And you know I'm always big on the trade, right? But I wouldn't. I don't know if I would make a trade yet. I would consider calling up Justin Crawford because he is a center fielder and he's killing it in the minor leagues right now. He's killing it more than Johan Rojas was last year. He can hit home runs, but he's a singles hitter, and he steals bases, and he covers the field. He covers great ground, and he always said that I want to be a better hitter than my dad, and he's doing that. So I would consider calling him up, seeing what he can do for a month or two. Why the hell not? What have you got to lose? Um, Otherwise, I mean, everybody else is kind of like a rental player. Like I know there was that baseball writers account got hacked, and we were supposed to get Luis Robert from the White Sox, and there was all these different trades and stuff that were because of the hacker. But that may not be a bad trade, at least to lead up to the playoffs. But I'm of the ilk of defense wins championships, and I think our pitching is in a good spot. But I think that those might be the subtle moves that I make. Catching wise, I like Marshawn. I've always liked Marshawn because he's a switch hitter. He's a switch hitting catcher, and I think Stubbs is better at post game playoff celebrations. For some reason, he can find like the funniest onesie that you could find in the celebration. Kudos to him. But as an offensive catcher, not so much. But yeah, I like Marshawn behind the plate, and then I'd probably call or send down Stubbs and maybe even trade him.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know what you can get for Stubbs, but I mean, you're going to get some. I don't know who would need a backup catcher, the elk of Stubbs. But yeah, he is the fun guy at the party though. So
Yeah.
you lose that, I guess. Um, so sticking with the Phillies, I just want to toot this horn again since y'all was killing me on the Embiid, Joe. The Phillies' recent back-to-back series losses is the reason I wasn't excited about their April and their May.
See, but baseball it's June,
Baseball has its ebbs and flows, right? We're
right?
about to see something like that.
Yeah,
That's why I wasn't excited about April and May because
right.
now it's June and it's different.
Yeah, but we're about to win two in a row.
Not right now.
Oh, okay.
It's looking right now, but it's possible. Um, I think back to Miguel, you and I, and it comes. It's funny that it comes up on my memories on Facebook when your brother, and myself, we went to that Phillies game, right?
Mhm.
Because the very next year, I went to the Phillies game on that same day and sat in pretty much those same seats. And there's pictures in my Facebook history. But anyway, when we went to that Phillies game, the Phillies were actually on a roll. It was a team that we knew wasn't good, but the Phillies were on a roll. And then after the All-Star break, they fell apart 2 years in a row.
Mhm.
I don't expect this team to fall apart, but I always say, just talk to me after the All-Star break. Then I might get excited.
Yeah.
I just
Speaking of bad memories, you remember what happened in that game?
the game we went to?
Yeah.
No.
Vince Velasquez struck out 13 guys in 5 innings and threw like 135 pitches, and we lost the game 1-0
Yeah, yeah.
because the Phillies had the bases loaded 3 times and scored no runs.
Could not score. Yeah, that's something.
That's like Ben Simmons being alone at the paint and passing it and not shooting the ball.
Yeah, I still get mad about that. I want to talk about this too. Another baseball highlight, I guess. Josh Gibson is now the all-time leader in MLB career batting average history. surpassing Ty Cobb.
Good.
Now this happened while we were on our hiatus over the past month or so, and I for one, I'm excited about it. I am. I won't call myself a historian because I know historians, and I wouldn't disrespect them like that. But I, for one, I'm a big fan of the history of the Negro Leagues. Um, I'm fascinated by the stories that I hear from people about the Negro Leagues, about the players, about how the situation worked. Like I'm fascinated by the fact that they helped other teams stay afloat by allowing their players go to play with them for like a weekend or something like that, so they can sell some tickets. I mean, that type of stuff would never happen today, but because it's totally different. But I'm just so fascinated by the Negro Leagues, and the Negro Leagues allowed everybody to play. Like they had Spanish people, they had black people, they had women, like they had everybody in the Negro Leagues. They didn't discriminate. Miguel, when you saw this, and I think you would have, I mean, you might have been the first person to alert me to it. You saw this. What was your thoughts when you saw this? Both of you guys, because I know Rob played some baseball in this time too. When you saw Josh Gibson at the top of this list, what were your thoughts?
I'll be honest. I was a little bit mixed because baseball has probably the worst race relations of any sport
Ooh.
historically. If you're looking at it across the board, historically,
Mm-hmm.
and even with this, and I was kind of perusing social media, and for whatever reason, I was like, I hear the announcement. Let me look at the comments, right? And a lot of the comments were along the lines of, oh, so what are we going to give them next? You know what I mean? Like, what are we going to do next? And are we going to allow, players that played in Japan, so it was like, it was almost kind of like everybody that was commenting was forgetting the fact that there was this unwritten rule that the white race was better at baseball or allowed to play baseball and couldn't mix with the black race. Then I was like, well, how can you include the stats based on the actual stats when the majority of the games they would barnstorm, which is basically they would play glorified pickup games, right? And those games they never had an official score. There's extreme tales of, Josh Gibson hit a ball out of Yankee Stadium. Josh Gibson hit 86 home runs in a season. Josh Gibson had 800 home runs. Okay, but why are those stats not official in the record book? It's because they went by the official. The other thing is too is that there's even stories behind that because officially most of the seasons only lasted like 60 to 70 games. So how can you match 60 to 70 games to at the time 154, 162 games? But they don't tell the story that the reason why there was only 60 to 70 games is because black people were not allowed or given priority or yeah, I guess you can say allowed to play on the same big league fields as the major leaguers. So they didn't have the ability or the access. You know what I mean? So it was kind of just like a mixed emotion for me. And, there was some anger, like what took so long. And like you kind of aligned it with a video game. So at the end of the day, yes, this is good, but you're also making money.
Rob, do you have any thoughts?
When I heard the news, man, I was excited about that. I always heard the tales of uh, Josh Gibson, and I remember watching what's the name of that movie with Blair Underwood and
Soul of the
Soul of
game.
the Game. And I know some of this stuff is accurate and some of it is inaccurate, but I just really loved that movie and just hearing about that and learning a little bit about history that I didn't know. And I just thought to myself, why not? Why not? You know, it's a part of history. They played the game. They put up the numbers, and yes, Santa, you're right. A lot of I heard that a lot of them was kind of like glorified pickers, so they didn't really have an official statistician keeping track of the stats. But I think even if you let's say if you were able to eliminate that and only count those 60 games, where that still puts a lot of guys on top of the leaderboard. So I think it was well overdue, and I'm happy for those guys, and I'm happy that hopefully that a lot of their families get to see that, and you know, just take pride in seeing their family finally getting the recognition that they deserve. It's kind of like a recognition, like, hey, this league was actually here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
like we were here.
Mhm.
Age and these guys, and that only adds to the legacy of Jackie Robinson as well.
Right. It says that we were here. It says that we were good at the game too. You know
So
what I mean? Like,
who's going to be the first player from the Negro League that goes into the Hall of Fame? We'd love to see that.
say it again,
Well,
Rob.
Are those guys in the Hall of Fame? I'm not sure.
yeah, there are several. It was just there was no stats to back it up, so they had to go by the stories.
Mm.
So now you have kind of like the number. Like there's one year where Josh Gibson actually hit 42 home runs in 80 games. So you can imagine what he could have done officially if he had, what is that, like 70, 80 more games.
Yeah.
And that was the season that he quote unquote allegedly hit 86 home runs.
So and I wanted to talk about that real quick, Miguel, because you were talking about the official stats and the barnstorming game and all like that. It's said in stories that some got me doing it. Josh Gibson hit like over 800 home runs
Mhm.
in his career, but he's only in the record books is hitting 188.
Hmm.
So I'm thinking that they may have only taken the statistics from the official. I'm sorry, from the official statistic, that the official games, because if the stories are true, he hit over 800. If the stories aren't true, he probably hit six or 700. I don't know, but he probably hit him a lot more than 188, right? But when I saw it, I was excited because, like I said, I'm a fan of Negro League history. There was and Miguel and I talk about it a lot. There was a Negro League team that had a stadium where I grew up, in the area where I grew up. The outline or the area is still there and is still in its same kind of shape. Um, but it's a shopping center now. But I went to grew up going to that shopping center for different things, and to find out later on in life that this was this is where the stadium was for a Negro League team. I was like, wow, that's amazing. Um, I have attended Negro League events. I went to one I forgot what part of Maryland I was in, but I went to it was a statue unveiling and I forgot the guy's name. I forgot the player's name. I have it. I have it around here somewhere. But he was married to, and she was there at the time. I think this is what it was. He was married to Cab Calloway's daughter. I think it was.
Hmm.
She was there and actually spoke at the event. I thought that was pretty cool. But there were other Negro League players there, so I got to meet a lot of Negro League players because I was with our friend Ryan, and he is part of the Judy Johnson Foundation, who is a Negro leaguer, considered the greatest third baseman of all time. And Ryan is a kin of Judy Johnson. So I was fortunate enough to meet a lot of these historic figures, and it was just a great thing for me to see these players get recognized because for so long in life it's like, okay, there's Negro League baseball, but it was always presented as less than because they didn't play against or officially play against the Lou Gehrig's, the Babe Ruths, the Mickey Mantles, the who I tell whoever. Um, but now we're here. We're here with y'all. Y'all can look at these stats. We existed. Like Rob said, we existed. It happened. So yeah, I was definitely excited about that. I was very proud to see that. Um, I do want to mention this. Paris 2024 Olympics coming up this summer, right? Um, I had a friend ask me about, and Rob, I want you to speak on this a little bit. I had a friend ask, I told a friend of mine that, depending on who plays, it's going to be a tough road to a gold medal for the United States. It's not guaranteed anymore, but they are to me the best team. But I think it's always going to be a tough road. And he said, "Well, who do you think can challenge them?" I said, "Well, France for one. France has a decent squad. They were in the gold medal game last Olympics, and it's a home game for them. Um, I think who else did I say? I said Australia is always tough. I doubt Ben Simmons plays. Um, wherever Jokic is from, is Jokic and Luka from the same? I don't think they are, but those the Slovenias
Yeah.
and there was one other one I thought was pretty
Spain
tough.
used to be strong, but all those guys are gone now.
Say it again.
I said Spain used to be
Spain was
but they're gone now. Like the Saul brothers are gone. All the
yeah,
other guys.
yeah, it's different. I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
Rubio's not playing anymore, right?
He might play. I know they had Ibaka and those guys, but then you got to go Greece.
Greece, yeah, Greece. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Greece. Um, so it's
It's going to be interesting.
interesting because a lot of those guys are NBA players now, too. So
Right, exactly. And that's what makes it so fun. Now I'm gonna throw you a curveball. It's a check swing podcast, Rob. I'm gonna throw you a curveball. See if I can get you.
Uh-oh.
I can get you leaning on this one. All right. What do you see for the women's basketball? Can they be challenged?
not really, man. Not really. Because a lot of those teams are boosted. I mean, there are good players over there, but a lot of those teams over there are boosted by the American players. So I think it's just a foregone conclusion that they're going to get another gold medal. They're going to win their eighth or something like that, gold or ninth. I think it is gold medal. I don't think the rest of the world. I don't think the rest of the world in women's basketball has caught up as much as the rest of the world in men's basketball yet.
I agree. I
Right.
agree. However, you know what though? Because there will never be a. I hate to say it like it sounds negative, but it's really not. There will never be a women's U.S. dream team because ever since '92, the men's dream team, the women have really been putting the dream team out there every single year.
Yeah.
So, that moment for the men's dream team is kind of what brought basketball to the world, at least men's basketball. You don't really have that with the women with the women because they're always putting their greats out there. But I think now with the popularity growing, I think you'll probably get more women from other countries getting involved in basketball. I feel like that popularity is growing and is going to expand across the seas. Um,
I feel like they dropped the ball. They dropped the ball with they fumbled a really great opportunity to what's the word I'm looking for? Promote the game by leaving Caitlin Clark off that team.
Oh, why didn't I even think about this? I didn't even think I forgot all about that. So I guess we have to talk about it now because it's interesting. Oh wow, I'm sorry, Miguel. You just came across some information. I'm going to go ahead and I'm gonna let you go ahead and announce that.
So as of 11 minutes ago, Major League Baseball has posted on their website that the legend Willie Mays, who was 93, passed away today.
Mm.
And just a real quick, as his career was ascending, one of the things that people don't realize is that I think he hit like 666 home runs in his career. He actually served in the army for 2 of those years. So had he not been called to serve in the army, that's 2 more years he could have, possibly broken the home run record. He was a 2-time MVP, a 24-time All-Star, a 12-time Gold Glover, and he was selected as one of the game's greatest living legends in 2015, and also a recipient of the Presidential Medal of Freedom later in 2015. So, prayers and thoughts to the baseball world. Willie Mays, arguably one of the greatest baseball players ever, arguably.
Rest in
Yeah,
peace. Say hey, kid, right?
Yep.
yeah, he's definitely like
24 All-Star,
24. Wow.
24-time All-Star.
And he played in the Negro Leagues too, didn't he?
How many
He
years?
was he played 2 years in the Negro Leagues for the Birmingham Barons, I think. Yeah.
The Birmingham Black
Yeah,
Barons.
so how many
Like-
years in the MLB?
26.
Jesus Christ.
And the last year he played, he was in the World Series.
Does it say how old he was when he started in Birmingham?
He had to have been like 19 because I know he played till like he was 42. Yeah, he had to have been like 18, 19.
Wow.
Because back in the Negro Leagues, you could have played as young as Roy Campanella played with the Baltimore Elite Giants when he was 15.
Wow.
And he was born and raised. He was a Simon Gratz grad. He went to Simon Gratz, all city baseball player. Went to they started out and watched. They were like the Washington Baltimore Elite Giants, and then they Baltimore. They played, I think, one season with the Philadelphia Stars.
I remember the one guy he played till he was 46. The DH Eddie Murray.
Yeah.
46. I'm mad how many years he played total.
Yes, I think about 23. Yeah, don't play them guys. They were no joke.
I chose the wrong sport, man. I could have been a DH. That's just forever.
Dude, you might be able to be a DH now the way the Phillies are hitting.
Man, I can hit the ball too. I don't understand. Me and Sandra should have been on the team together. I don't know why.
Hey, let's turn it back. Y'all can get out there. Y'all can get out there. There's a team in Delaware right now.
So I got some stats for you real quick.
For what? For who?
I'm just gonna say this. One particular player, whether they calls himself the most dominant basketball player ever, in his first 2 seasons played 81 games each. Third season, 79. Out of his whole career, he played over 70 games 7 times. Add an additional 67 3 times. And he played 75 games in 2008, 2009. He came in the league in 93. So think about that. He's in his 18th year where he played 75 games. This man can't play 75 in his prime.
So what you're telling me is Shaq has never played an entire season.
Are you going to hit him with the one game?
What you're telling me is he never played all 82 games.
You were scared of 81.
I do want to circle back though, because I completely forgot about the Caitlin Clark thing. I completely forgot about that. You said, Rob, that you feel like they missed the opportunity to promote women's basketball by not putting her on the team. Let me ask you this. Do you feel like basketball-wise, she should have been on the team?
I think that they made that point, right? They said she was not one of the top 12 players.
Okay.
Okay, I can get with that. But then, what is Diana Taurasi doing on the team?
Mm.
Because her stats and everything are better than Diana Taurasi's this year.
Mm.
Apparently, I can't remember the young lady's name, but they said there's a young lady who's averaging 26 in the league right now. Is she not one of the best 12 players? She's not on the team. And then you have the girl they mentioned, Chelsea Gray, who hasn't played a single game in the league this year. How is she one of the 12 best players? She hasn't even played.
So
So,
let
so
me
my
ask
thing
you this.
is, so every year they allow Brianna Stewart played, Stewie played, Diana Taurasi played.
So
But
you
I
think they're just going after names?
they're flying on the big hate. I don't understand what the issue is. I got my friend texting me that he said she should not be on the team. She's not in college anymore. Diana Taurasi is a legend. It don't matter, bro. She's 42. She's not cutting it. So you said the best players. She's not the best player anymore. She's not one of the 12 best players anymore. She shouldn't be on the team. They're not. It's not going to change what's going to happen one way or another if Caitlin Clark is on the team or not on the team. They're going to win the gold medal. So all of those fans that she's bringing and she's going to bring to the national, they're going to sell more jerseys. Those people overseas are going to see her. They're going to she's going to make fans out of them. That's going to grow. That's going to grow the game. Why wouldn't you do that? Or if you're talking about the 12 best players, then take off Chelsea Gray, take off Diana Taurasi, okay, and then put the other two players in there that are best. Because I'm pretty. If the girl averages 26, she must be pretty darn good. So she should be on the team, right?
So let me. I don't know if this would be playing devil's advocate. I guess it's kind of more of a question, or maybe more of a statement. Um, and I'm going to preface this by saying, just like you just said earlier, USA women's basketball is probably going to win a gold medal regardless, right? But there was a point where in the men's game started with the dream team. They sent the best 12. They sent Christian Leitner that one year because they wanted to have a college kid.
Mhm.
But from that point forward, they sent the best 12 up until the year they lost. They got the bronze medal, right? And they didn't have their best 12 then, but then after that, they kind of shifted their stance on it and said, we're going to send the best team, not necessarily the best 12. Do you think women's basketball is going that route, or do you think they're just going after the known names that's of the popularity? They send the popular team, the Brittany Grinders, who deserve, right? Brittany Grinders, the Tarazis, and whoever else is on their team.
I think that I don't know. I'm looking at the contract. Are they putting together the best team or but they didn't say the best team. They said the 12 best players.
That's 12, right? But
That's
what I'm saying is, men shifted from that. Do you
yeah.
think they're still on the like they're still on the we want to send the best names? Like the men wanted to send the best names. They called it the best, or they
I,
wanted to send the best names.
it's hard to answer that because if I say yes, that would be inaccurate because if you're going to best names, then Caitlin Clark has to be on the team.
Good point. Good point. That's true.
Then if that's the case, you have to have Caitlin Clark on the team and you have to have Angel Reese on the team. But
Yeah.
You think they tried to you think they were probably scared of some infighting because of their rivalry going back and forth?
they said a report came out that said that the veterans were worried about Caitlin Clark's fans getting in an uproar for the limited time she would get. But here,
Wow.
my guy just texted me and said Angel Reese has better stats. She averages 12 and 10. She's a big that shoots 37% from the field.
30. Damn. That's got to get a little better.
Come on, come on, bro. Stop it. Stop it.
um,
She doesn't shoot threes. Why are you shooting 37% from the field, man?
On a personal note, right? I don't remember her name, and I apologize for not remembering her name. But the other rookie on the Chicago Sky that came from South Carolina, the Brazilian, I'm going to go ahead and assume that she's on Team Brazil. Brazil. I don't know if Team Brazil is in
Oh, Camila Cardozo.
Cardozo. I don't know if Brazil is in, but the Brazilian women are usually, I think, in the tournament. Or am I thinking of Australia? I know Australia's already in, but
They'll be in.
I hope she plays because I want to see her in international competition. Right? Don't right?
Yeah,
I mean, I like her. I'm just saying. I'm gonna see if she plays.
I want to see. Oh, here you go. What's the girl's name? She played with Dallas. I can't say her last name. I barely see her. I barely can say her first name. Arike Ogumbowale
Yeah.
averages 25 and five and a half of assists a game. She's not on the team.
Would she be on Team USA? I don't know if she was born there. I don't know, but she can hoop. Like you just what she said. She's averaging. Would you say she's averaging 25?
She's averaging 25, 24.9, so 25.
And she's not on the team.
She's not on the team.
I'm assuming Asia Wilson's on the team. Like that would be crazy if she's not on the team.
Yeah, she averages 28.
Yeah, I'm assuming she's on the team. Like I know they wouldn't leave her off.
Scoring right now. She's a beast. I tell you what she don't. I bet she don't. I bet she don't. I bet she don't shoot 37% from the field.
I bet you're right.
I'm just saying that gets into my soul right there. That 37%.
Listen, that's
a 3-point average, man. Like
right.
look,
Right.
you shooting all layups. Why do you average 37%? But you doing all the talking. How about you focus on your game, man? You probably average 10 rebounds because you miss so much. You and your Moses Malone. Like, come on. 37, but I won't even disrespect Moses like that. Moses Malone never shot 37% ever in his life.
Moses Malone just turned over in his grave just now.
Come on, man. If you're big, you got to be averaging at minimum 50 and up. And 50 is low if you're only shooting layup. That's low.
And I agree. Coming from somebody that's 5'4", I agree with you on that.
You gotta be at like 58, 60 and higher. Like, come on.
Just out of curiosity, can somebody look up what Joel Embiid's averages from the floor? And we know he don't shoot everything from under in the paint, but I'm going to assume his average is 47%
from the floor.
From the floor, not threes, but from the floor. I'm gonna. Hey man.
Percentages. Hold on, let's see.
No, I'm gonna give him 55%. Because I think a lot of the misses I'm thinking of are 3-pointers.
Regular season, 38% from three. Wait, no, this is 39 games played. The dude only played 39 games.
That's what I saw too.
I was looking at the wrong thing.
Hey, nobody asked you that.
Come on.
Well, I mean, doggone, he did have a grown man land on his knee this year, guys.
Okay, hold on. 52, basically 53% from the field, and then 38% from three, which is really good. 34 points and 11 rebounds. Playoffs, 33 points.
No, we good. We good.
He played 6 games in the playoffs. He shot 44% from the field, so that's down 8. That's down 9%. And 33% from three. That's down 5%. So once again, his numbers dropped in the playoffs and did not increase. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there.
We ain't even know all that. We ain't even know all that.
I'm
Sixers
just
are still in a better position to win a championship with him on the team.
he played 39 games.
What were their record in those 39 games though? They were 38-1. I promise. I promise. I promise you, there was 38-1 and a half. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
39 games.
Telling you.
I'm gonna put that in the chat. When I wake up tomorrow morning in our group chat, I'm gonna just text 39.
I'm gonna go ahead and block the group chat right now. I'm gonna block it.
That's how me and Rob will be like hashtag trade in Embiid, hashtag now.
I'm gonna ask my good friend Isaiah. You guys probably seen him because he's the only other tall guy that I ride bikes with. You can drop your comments in the comment section, sir. You know, and everybody can see the blasphemy that you're spewing. Okay, do us a favor, and that gets our chat active.
What's he saying? I want to hear this blaspheme.
I mean, he's just go. I mean, Caitlin Clark averaged 3 turnovers. Okay, she's a rookie. Okay, she's a rookie. She has the ball. Wow. What are we talking about?
So,
Are we pimps or athletes?
you gotta put that in the comment section. We gotta get the comments.
Diana Taurasi's a legend. I don't give a damn. She's 42. It's time to let it go, man. Even for LeBron, man, it's time to hang it up. Bro. Let the cats come in and play, man.
Rob, I want to ask you a question because I have 2 players in mind, and if you don't want to answer it, it's cool. Who's the most overrated player in the NBA?
Overrated.
Where did you put it?
I already know who Miguel thinks is, but you know.
Overrated.
I'll tell you one of mine is somebody you mentioned earlier,
Who's that?
Anthony Davis.
Oh, yeah, I would put him at the top of the list.
My other one is
You know what? It's not even. I don't know. He's very talented, man. The dude can score, but I'm attaching the fact that he just always hurt to it. I'm not able to give you that level if you're not on the court, man. I just can't do it. I like Jimmy Butler, right? Jimmy Butler, but I don't fully respect him because okay, you show up in the playoffs, but bro, you got to bring it every night. I don't respect you not bringing it every night. You cruising through the regular season. I don't respect that either. But if I had to choose, if I back against the wall, gun to my head, I got to choose. Do I want a guy who's going to show up in crunch time, or I'm going to take Jimmy Butler in the playoffs? But you got to do it regular season, postseason. You got to come and show up every night.
what are your thoughts on DeMar DeRozan?
Excuse me, you might as well come say hi. Can I help you?
Hi.
This is my daughter, Peyton.
Hi.
Go away. You're
Wait,
crazy.
wait.
All right, stay over here.
Where did you put that?
She has to sign it. She has to sign an NDA.
On my night table.
Yeah.
She has to sign a non-disclosure.
Your thoughts on DeMar DeRozan?
Somebody mentioned that to me. I forget who it was. They said that would you take DeMar DeRozan and bring him to Philly? The dude can play, but it's just he has that. He's one of the folks that's keeping the mid range alive. I like that. I would take him. I think he's a solid player. He's a piece. Is he the piece that is he going to be the main guy? No.
Right, he should not be a main guy.
No, but definitely a great addition, I think.
I think you put DeMar DeRozan on this Sixers team. I think they take another step.
Yeah, I'm,
I think they take another step.
I don't think we mentioned the, the elephant in the room. You mentioned them giving away Jimmy Butler, keeping Ben Simmons, but they kept Tobias Harris.
Please don't get my blood pressure up. I think I just got it down.
I mean, as tough as I am on Embiid, he cannot. Tobias can't go unscathed, bro. You're the highest paid player on the team, bro. You can't. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Come on. But I do
not like that trade at all. I was against that trade from the rip. I was a fan of Landry Shamet. I know it's not that big, but I was a fan of Landry Shamet. I felt like we needed outside scoring.
So here's the thing. Maybe you guys know or do not know, and this is what I've heard, and you may have heard Carmelo Anthony talk about it as well with his struggles to adapt later in his career. Them putting him in a corner. He made his living off of the post, one-on-one, mid-range game. Then you go to certain teams. Now you have analytics that come in, and it's like shoot a three or get to a layup, right? They have a set amount of two-point shots that they're going to allow. So if you have this guy shooting twos and this guy shooting twos, then how many twos am I going to get to shoot? So now you got Carmelo Anthony stuck in the corner, shooting threes, which is not his thing. Now, I will say this, Tobias Harris is the same in Philly. So if you say, hey, we're only going to allow one person to shoot twos, that's going to be Embiid, right? Embiid's shooting all the twos. So where does Tobias Harris come in? That's part of his game. So now you're asking Tobias Harris to do what they were asking Carmelo Anthony to do, which is just spot up and shoot threes. Either shoot threes or get all the way to the basket, which is not his strength. Now, I'm not giving him a pass.
I got
that has hurt a lot of players' games with this analytics and them saying, okay, well, we're only shooting this many twos in the game. And now you're eliminating the strength of certain players because they're not allowed to play to their strengths.
right. I got
Analytics is a four-letter word on the show.
Yeah, I'm not for it, man. I'm for making the best play, man. Make the right play. Get a good shot. Period.
That's it.
Thank you.
That's it. Score. The name of the game is to score.
That's it.
Score.
And on that note, we're gonna get up out of here. Make the right play. The name of the game. Make the right play. Keep Embiid there. Keep Embiid healthy.
And don't be a mental midget. We gonna leave
it. And trade Embiid for three people that are not mental midgets, so that we can get past the second round. Because
Andrew Lang and
Embiid,
I forgot.
Embiid is allergic to personal trainers. And 82 games on a schedule.
I don't understand. I found that the easiest part of my job. Get in the gym. What do I have to do during the day? Go to the gym. And you got enough money that they could just prepare the meals for you. All I got to do is just heat my food up. Oh my God. Listen, I had the opportunity before we go. I had the opportunity to go and train. I got to go up to Cleveland before I did the Sacramento. I did the summer league with Sacramento Kings. And then after that, I went up to Cleveland to train for a few days, work out, play some pickup. LeBron James, Chris Paul came through. And I'm looking at the facilities. I walk in there and I'm like, how do you not improve here? You can literally walk into the gym. You don't need anything. I have on my slippers and a t-shirt and shorts. I can walk in there and play. They give you your shorts. They give you your sneakers. They give you your tights. You got toothbrush, toothpaste in there, razors. You can literally live in the gym. You don't even have to stretch yourself. The coaches do that. They pass you the ball.
I chose the wrong sport.
They got the food in there. I'm like, how do you not improve? What's there to complain about? Like you have everything, so you have no excuse not to improve. No excuse. It's your job. I tell this story. I was junior going into my senior year, the summer, junior year. I got to work out. There's a guy named John Harnett. He always held the top workouts in the city. He since passed away. Rest in peace, Johnny Harnett. But he always had the best. Everybody would come to the workouts and play pickup. Sometimes it'd be 30 people in there. You lose, you might not ever get back on. Right? There were so many people. We're talking about, Aaron McKee, Allen Iverson, anybody you can name coming through the city. Tim Thomas, Keith Van Horn, all the Sixers. So anytime a lot of Sixers were coming to the workouts, we would move the workouts to PCOM, back when they had PCOM, for, of course, liability issues. I remember finishing a workout sitting there with Dallenberg. That's when they had Dallenberg. And Dallenberg was complaining like, "Oh, Larry Brown, I've been here since 8 o'clock." And I'm like, "Sam, how about this, Sam? How about you switch places with me? Go to school and take my classes, and I'll be a pro and just be in the gym all day." You kidding me, bro? You realize this is not my first workout. You talking about 8 o'clock. I was already working out at 6. This is workout number 3 for me. You know what I'm saying?
At the time.
Yeah.
Wow.
You a pro. You complain about being in the gym at 8 since 8 a.m. Bro, that's sleeping in. Like, I would have traded places in a heartbeat. You kidding me? All I have to do, I couldn't graduate college. All I did was work out 3-4 times a day.
Rob got me about to go to the gym right now.
Oh man!
As soon as the show's over, I'm going to the gym.
It was lovely, man. Those were the days, man. Those were the days. My job.
We gonna talk about that some more. We gonna get some stories out of you, Rob. We gonna get some.
Yes,
stories.
sir.
I feel like I can listen all day because I'm sure you got some good ones. We gonna get up out of here. We appreciate y'all checking in with us on the Check Swing podcast. We are back from our month-long hiatus. Olympics coming up, so we got some special guests coming for the Olympics too. So y'all definitely want to hang out with us. But if you are watching us on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button right there. The New Twist Radio YouTube channels where you can see all of our shows. You can see 10 to 10-7 show, which is coming back on Sunday. Let's Not Argue, and the Intelligent Ignorance will be coming back, and of course the Check Swing podcast. You can see all of our live episodes right there on the YouTube channel. Make sure you share us with your friends, your family, and your enemies, because they might want to see it too. All right. But for Rob and Miguel, we're gonna get up out of here. We appreciate y'all hanging with us. I kind of forgot that I gotta put all the graphics up, so I'm stalling that.
I hate when that happens.
But we're gonna get up out of here. We appreciate y'all for hanging with us. We'll talk to y'all next week right here on the Check Swing podcast.
Yes, sir.